Hello friend, today we will discuss about the new topic, that is the computer aided process planning, that is CAPP. That is a part of this same subject, that is computer integrated manufacturing system. So this is actually very important topic when we discuss about the process planning. It also connect, we can say it's a bridge between the two process. First one is the design process, and second is the manufacturing process. So computer aided process planning is the bridge between the two uh, process. You can see here we have a diagram about the process, how we develop an product, or how we collect the data from the market. So here we have CAD system. From the CAD system we have a data preparation. From data preparation, and then we are giving input in the CAPP. In that we require two things, knowledge as well as the planning rule, and from that you will get the output. And further we have post processor and production planning and scheduling. So you can understand this figure, that planning rules that have been prepared by the uh, company itself, and in that you should require knowledge about the different process planning method, how this process planning method are used, and that after that preparing that output is sent to the post processor, and that is used for the actually production planning and scheduling. What is the process planning? Now we come to the definition. Process planning is the concern with the determining the sequence of individual manufacturing operation needed to produce a given part or product. You can understand in this definition what is the process planning. Actually we generally discuss about any process. Suppose you want to prepare any food. So what are the different steps are required to prepare that food? That is known as the process planning. Now the same definition that we can apply it in the manufacturing operation. We have a number of operation in manufacturing system, and that should be prepared before executing. So before that you have to prepare some sequence of the individual manufacturing operation. Suppose you have any shaft that has to be passed from the four machine. Now first machine that you have to identify. So you have to identify where your first operation has to be performed. Suppose you have lathe, milling, drilling, and surface grinding or cylinder grinding. So your process step should be specified well before execution. The resulting operation sequence is documented on a form referred to as a road sheet. So after preparing your sequence, you have to write down all the sequence on the one sheet. Nowadays people are using the in a computer system. Basically in computer system they are defining the road of that component. So you can easily refer that road from first to end, from the raw material to the quality control and then dispatch. The road sheet is a listing of production operation and associated machine tool for work part or assembly. The difficulties in traditional process planning that we have to face, actually we are facing during the operation. There are variation in the level of detail found in road sheet among different companies and industries. So some specific company also has defined their your own system to identify the process planning. In one extreme case, process planning is accomplished by the releasing the part print to production shop with the instruction. Most firms provide a more detailed list of steps describing each operation and identifying each work center Traditionally, the task for manufacturing engineer in a firm to write this process planning for a new part design to be produced by a shop. A process planning procedure is highly dependent on the experience and judgment of a planner. The manufacturing engineer responsibility to determine an optimal routing for each new part design. So you can refer all the six difficulties that is faced during the traditional process planning. So in this you require as a some skilled engineer that they are the most experienced people. They can decide uh, which part is the optimal part, and we in optimal route actually, and what is the minimum time to execute that operation. Now you can see computer aided process planning. In the view of problem encountered with process planning, attempts have to be made actually capture the logic, actually judgmental and experience required for this important function, and to incorporate them into the computer program. You can see here, suppose you want to prepare any process planning for any component. What is the requirement? In that you have to first understand each and every step of the process. Then you have to identify the different steps, and again you have to study the non-required steps, and each and every steps you have to use the logic actually, and from that you can avoid the actually uh, time wastage. The program automatically uh, generate the manufacturing operation sequence. CAPP reducing the routing clerical work of manufacturing engineers. The following alternative approaches to CAPP have been developed, like we have a retrieval type of CAPP, generative type CAPP, and hybrid CAPP. So we have three different types of CAPP, that is computer process planning, and we will discuss one by one in continuation to this lecture. First method is retrieval type CAPP, and that is also known as the variant system. The variant process planning approach can be realized as a four steps process, defining of a coding scheme actually, grouping part into part family. So we are dividing the part into number of groups. Development of a standard process plan, retrieval and modification of standard process plan. So first retrieval type CAPP system. In this approach, the parts produced in the plant are grouped into part family and distinguished across according to the manufacturing characteristic actually. So our main focus is the manufacturing characteristic. So according to that, we have divided the number of groups for each part families. The standard process plan is established. The standard process plan is stored in computer files and then retrieved for a new part which belong to that part family. So you can see or you can understand this line that suppose you have created one part a standard file process plan, and that file is stored in the computer. Now similar features part you have to manufacture with some variation. Now what we will do, we will retrieve that file and we will do the modification on the existing file and we will generate the new file. The CAPP program then search the part family matrix file to determine if a match exists. If the file contains an identical code number, the standard machine routing and the operation sequence are retrievable from the computer file for display for user. The standard process plan is examined and edited the part design and prepare part document in the proper form. If an exact match cannot found between the code number in the computer file and the code number for new part, the user searches the machine root file and the operation sequence file for a similar part that can use to develop the plan of a new part. So this is actually a diagram of the retrieval type CAPP. User enter part code here, then it will search for part family. In this we have two options. One is a part family matrix file that standardized machine routing retrieve. It will search and it will retrieve the standard machine root. Again that will machine routing file. Then next a standard operation retrieval. Okay, that is the operation sequence file. Process plan formatter, other application program. So you can see this process plan of the retrieval type system. So this is our first type system, and remaining three will be discussed in next lecture.